Hello, everyone. I hope I'm on. Can someone just say a quick hello if you can hear me? Well, I am thinking I'm live. It looks like my mic is working, so I am just going to start talking. Okay, good. We've got a hello from Ireland. That's on my list of places to go visit. So, how's everyone doing today? It is a very cold, snowy day here. So I have just stayed in my room and have started to stay nice and warm and doing what I like doing, which of course is sewing. But I wanted to drop in really quick. Well, number one, just to say hello to everyone. But I also wanted to give everyone a quick update on two things. Um, the first thing is my book. I have 15 copies left. And hello from Australia, South Carolina, Maryland, oh, Missouri. Excuse me. So I have 15 books left to have signed. I did get a couple of shipments in, but what I wanted to let everybody know is there are 15 books left. After that, I'm going to have to shut my website down, not my videos, just the website, so you can get that book, because I am going to be changing formats, changing stores, and that will take a little bit of time. So I have so many lovely people chatting. I'm going to get to that in a minute. Um, I have your book. Love it. I'm glad. Thank you very much. London. Oh, okay. I just have to read a couple of these. West Coast, Chicago, Quebec, Canada, Saskatchewan. Oh, no, Saskatchewan. Sorry. Trinidad. Oh, my goodness. Morocco, Delaware. Thank you. Congratulations on my book. So, what's going to happen is because this new store is going to take over, I have to close the one store down in order to open up the second store. There's a little bit of a transition there. Number one, I have to get my IT guy to get it all worked out. But when he gets that done, then I'm going to have a whole new website. If you want to have a copy of the book before I sell out or before this shop closes down, you can go to soveryeasy.com, and it's going to direct you to a site where you're going to be able to buy a signed copy from me. What does the book have? Well, I can show you what the book has. I happen to have a copy, and it's me on it. So I'll give you. There, can you see it? Okay. So these are, in the book, are 12 patterns that I have done videos on. If you want to buy the book, you can buy it in many different places, but if you want to buy it direct from me with hand signed, Lori, go to soveryeasy.com and it's going to get you over there. So the book has 12 quilts in it. Hold on, I'll slide the camera over. You see that blue one on the wall? That's one of them. Actually, that's the one on the front cover. You see the background there? So, that, ooh, I don't want to drop my computer. So there's going to be a transition then. So I wanted to let you know about the transition. And then from there, it's going to be a little bit different. So the book has 12 patterns in it. The patterns are all written. I have my tips and hints and techniques in there. So there's lots of different ways that you can do things. So you not only have the videos that you can refer back to, you'll have it written. So it's sort of like me sitting beside you telling you what to do. So that's an update for the book. I'm glad you made the chevron quilt. So Shannon says, I made the chevron quilt. So very easy. I love the plant. So you like my husband's YouTube channel. So, okay, for those that don't know, and you have my pencils. Perfect. Okay. So after Christmas, just after Christmas, my husband and we had been planning this for a while, decided we were going to do something together. Well, he'll be doing most of it, but it's sort of together. We started a cooking channel. So if you like cooking, you can go to Cooking with the Koyas on YouTube. Most of the time you're going to see my husband there because, well, he does most of the cooking, so I could do most of my sewing. I know, lucky me. So we decided to start a channel because we do a lot of entertaining and we love to cook. So we decided to do that because a lot of right now, of course, we can't do a lot of entertaining. So this is our way of entertaining. Now, my husband cooks totally different than I do. My husband weighs everything. God bless him. I'm a throw it in the pot kind of a girl, make it quick, let it be going. I've been cooking for years. When I was younger, I'm one of six children. I'm the second oldest, so I did a lot of um, a lot of the cooking in my home. So we do it a different way. I did a recipe last week where you make a hot fudge cake in a really big mug. And the measurements are 1 tablespoon, more or less. It doesn't even have to be exact. Um, Now he measures everything and everything's exact. I just sort of put things together. So you'll see both of us on the channel, and you might just see some of my children or our children that are going to be doing that too. So that's what the YouTube channel is. So I'm glad you've been enjoying it. He did an amazing artisan bread. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. So yeah, my mother has cooked from all of her life. Wait a minute, hold on. Francine, I made the Italian sausage, the bread, the meatballs, and your hot fudge cake. Okay, did you like the hot fudge cake? You need to tell me if you liked that cake. Very addicting. So in 2008, I created these recipes of desserts that went into a big mug. See, I made this mistake. I asked my children what they wanted for dessert. Now, I have three children, and of course, my husband, and he was working at that time. They all wanted something different. Of course, they did. So I just said, okay, number one, I'm never going to ask again. So what I did is I made these recipes so they could cook their own cakes in these mugs. And then I didn't have to make any more cakes. So the cooking channel is Cooking with the Koyas, and you spell that Coia. And yes, so we're just going to have fun with it. So we're going to do that. So thank you. That's what that was all about. So let's see. Okay, the book, okay, and the other YouTube channel. And very addictive. Doreen says, very addictive. Show how you do the lemon one. Ah, I know someone who likes lemon and would really like that one. So I'm going to, but once a month, I'm going to pop on and do some of these fun recipes that I like to do. Now, the second thing, everybody has been waiting, and I know it has taken a long time, and I'm so sorry, but my room update, March 11th. Yes, March. Yes, the book is available on Amazon. March 11th, I will have the video of my sewing room. So I go into how I've set it up and some of these things like that. And you can see here, I'm pretty much set up now. I just have some things left to put up on the walls, but the room is done. So it was actually a year ago I decided I was going to move down and take over a good portion of the basement. Now, I was upstairs above a garage. It was very warm up there. I had beautiful lighting. However, it was very noisy up from the street, and the acoustics and lighting was not very good. So it was a little bit difficult to control the lighting and control the sound. So I decided that I was going to come down and take over the basement. Now, the basement was in its very raw format. I had 2x4s with insulation up, and that was it. So we started doing the walls, the floors, and all of that. And then what happened is, of course, COVID hit, everything shut down. So I had my desk in the basement, and I had three light bulbs hanging from the ceiling, and I had to move my desk underneath the light bulbs so I could work on my desk because things were had started moving up and down, and it was absolutely crazy. So as we were doing the work on things that we could do on our own, I had to move the desk from one area to another area to another area, put it back, put it back. I had no curtains. I had nothing on the floor. The floor was freezing. I kept putting rugs down where I was going to be. So then once COVID opened up, we were able to get back in. So, and then we were able to get the room done. So I have been in the room for a couple of months now. It took me a while to do some rearranging to figure out how it was going to be comfortable most, for me. Um, and I think this is what's really important when we design our own workspace, our own area, regardless of where it is. Sometimes we need to rearrange and try some things that are going to be a little bit different so that it's more comfortable for us individually. I'm very short, so I have to have things in a little bit of a different thing that than someone who's a lot taller. So those things were put into consideration. My very first sewing space, I was probably about 7 years old, and the lady across the street gave me her sewing machine. Before that, I was using my mother's on the dining room table. Um, so when I got my own, and it was a little treadle, she was very happy. My mother was very happy because she got her dining room back, number one. But I didn't have room in my bedroom because I had a sister sleeping in the bedroom with me. So I put my sewing machine in the closet. So I had to move the clothes every time that I would sew. And then after that, I got a second machine a couple of years later, okay, probably a year later, and I used that as a nightstand. So I had the nightstand as my sewing table, and I put a board. Now, you'll remember this if you're older like me. A lot of times we would put a board between the mattresses because the mattresses kind of sagged a little bit. So I would take that board and put it on top. It was a cutting surface, it was a design surface, and because I had this huge board underneath my bed. I'll let you know about that quilt, definitely, Judith. So the problem is when you start sewing, you just didn't necessarily want to clean up after yourself. So my sister had a single bed. I had a single bed. But if I was using my bed on the board as a sewing station, I would sleep in my sister's bed. So the two of us were sleeping in a single bed just so that I didn't have to ruin my workspace. So it was a lot of fun. So it really doesn't matter what space you have. You need to make it fun for yourself and as comfortable as you can. I also had a closet that you could open the doors, and just the entire closet was built in as a sewing room. I've been on a front porch. I've been in closets. I've been in walk-in closets where they're long, thin, dark ones. So the quilt behind me is the quilt that I designed for Canada's birthday. If you go into my YouTube channel, it's called Glorious and Free. And it's I think there's 5 videos that takes you step by step on how to make the quilt. And you can print out the pattern and follow along. So Joe from Kenya, oh my goodness, hello. So yes, so that's how my sewing rooms were. And now I have this lovely big room, but I do spend probably 8 to 10 hours a day in this room working. So March 11th is your 26th wedding anniversary. Yay. So that's what's going on. March 11th is going to be the room. I'm going to show you the room. The last day for the books, I have been told, would be Sunday, February the 28th. So I would have to say the 27th, because the 28th, that website's going to be shut down. So it's just a thought, if you want to do that. So love hearing about your sewing. Do you know, I have been sewing all my life. My mother really sewed out of necessity. I sewed because I absolutely loved it. Um, there was something about the sound of that machine that I love. I love the sound of sewing machines. Every machine, even if it's the same one, same company, has a little bit of a different sound to it. There's a bit of a hum, and I really love the sewing machine. I just love the sound of it. It's very soothing for me. And so my mother used to sew, and our kitchen and the dining were right beside each other. And so I would, when I could, I was sewing sitting on my mother's knee. And then if my mother was cooking, I would sit on top of big phone books and have boxes for the pedal for me to sew on. So I have been sewing all my life. I don't remember ever not sewing. So, yes, I love sewing, and that's what I did. No, I'm sorry. I didn't know there was going to be a live. I just ended up literally 5 minutes before I came live. I did get a phone call, and they said the site's going to be shut down on the 28th. And I thought, I am just going to let everybody know now. And that way you had an opportunity. So I will let this video go, so it's going to be on YouTube afterwards. That takes a couple of minutes by the time I'm off, and then for it to upload and do all of that. And I also take time to read all of the messages. So, yeah. Does my sister sew? Not really. No, not really. I mean, she can if she has to. It was really something she never really got into. I'm really, really artsy. I love painting and anything to do with design. I can paint, knit, cross stitch, embroider. I can do all of those things. If it involves some type of an art, my brain can process that information. Book smart, well, that's another thing. My sister's book smart. So, no, my sister doesn't sew. So, there we go. Let me see if I can catch up on some of these questions. 57, just started sewing. Oh no, I'm over 60 years old, and I've been sewing for a long time. You're in love with the cooking. I'm so glad. You notice I made my husband a chef's jacket, and I surprised him with it. So he was having a lot of fun with that. Let me see. I'm just going to catch up on some of these, and I won't be much longer. So, can you show the book again? Yes, I can. There you go. Did you see that, Judith? No, it wasn't Judith. Who wants to see the book again? I saw it. Christine. Short girls of your night. Okay. I am so short, you ask. How short are you? My desk that I'm sitting on right now, an average desk is designed for people 5'6" to 5'7". So us 5'1" people, the desks are 6 inches too high for us. So we have to raise our chairs so high that our feet dangle. So in order for me to build a desk to fit me, I took 2 filing cabinets that I built, and I took the legs and the wheels off of them. So that's about that much. And then there's no space between the top. So my desktop sits right on top of 2 filing cabinets, which were very low. So my feet touch the floor. However, no one else in the house can sit on it. So, okay, let's see. Did I miss anything? Hold on, let me keep reading. Hey, someone's 4'10". You're the same size as my mother. Doreen, I love this book and I'm starting my second quilt from it. Yay! You're 6'2" and you have your bed on the risers. See, we need to get together and trade some sizes. Um, is that a restock of your book? Yes, I don't know how many I bought right at the beginning, and I sold them out. And I thought, well, I'll do another shipment. So I've done another shipment. Good news is I do have a second book coming out. So, but that's not going to be for another year. So that's going to take a little time. So this is why I wanted to get all of that website and everything figured out now. And then it'll all go in at the same time. Someone had said about pencils, and they're not here. Oh, of course, they're not on my desk. They're over in the other room. I also have pencils. So, second book. Yay, I know. It's so exciting. So, the second book, one of the viewers, one of you, when I had noticed, I think the name was Sandra, had said to me, we love your first book, but now you need to write a second book on your patternless sewing. If you watch my videos, a lot of time I will say, we're going to start with the square. It doesn't matter we're going to start with square. So it's sort of not a pattern. We start build up, and that's what the book is on. So there's a whole pile of fun projects that we can use scraps of fabric, bigger pieces, smaller pieces. If you want a 12-inch square, you can start with a 12-inch. If not, we can do something smaller. So that's what that book is all about. My hair looks lovely. Thank you. I straightened it. It's very white. It's very white. And if you have white hair, you will understand the frizziness of white hair. So where do I have here? I have the pencils too. Hey, yay. You know what? The pencils were a lot of fun to create. They have sayings on them. I have one. So it has the quilt picture on it. See, isn't that cute? And then it has it has sayings on it. I don't know if you know or not, but I came up with the saying, and it sort of has stuck to me. And the saying is, you know how we would say it's a spectacular day? Well, I changed that and I call it a so-tacular day. So a lot of times, if you get my book, I will mention so-tacular. So on my pencil, it says, hold on, have a so-tacular day. So you have white hair too. It's lovely. The white, you know what? The gray will go white. Trust me. How can I buy your book? Go to soveryeasy.com. It's going to redirect you over that. I love my white hair. It's just the frizzy I don't like. Second book. Yes, I'm very excited. You have cost me a lot of money. I'm sorry. I've cost me a lot of money too. I know. 2 videos a week. No one can keep up with me. I could barely keep up with it. Oh, my favorite color. Okay, my favorite color, would that be for clothing, for quilting, or decorating? My favorite color, even as a child, when I opened up that box of 64 crayons, my favorite color was that turquoise. I still love the smell of a box of crayons. And I still color. I love coloring. I've never grown out of that. So I think turquoise would be my favorite color. I love quilting with red. It just adds such a sparkle in things. And red goes with so many colors. So I like red. My clothing, yeah, I like red too. So those are that. I enjoy your husband's cooking channel. Oops, good. I'm glad. Okay, something's happened here. This message is held for you. I'm doing left. I can't. I'm sorry, missed it. All right. What top thread do you recommend for quilting? Okay, for quilting my layers together, I have a go-to thread, and it's a thread that it's from a company called Haagen Dazs. And the thread, you can get it in smaller spools and very big spools, and it's called Glide. I'll show you one. Hold on. Oh, let me get this color here. There, I'm back. Had to get you a red. So you can see it. So it's a polyester. And with the polyester, you don't get as much lint. And I like the non-lint because that way I don't have to clean my machine as much. And in the bobbin, I do use the same stuff. Now, a lot of times I'll use cottons and silks for whatever I'm doing, but I would have to say this would be the first thing that I go to. Um, so I hope that answers that questions. Let's see. I'm so glad you did catch today. How do you prevent the colors bleeding from red and white quilts? Okay, and you liked my weighted blanket. Thank you. I sleep with a weighted blanket. I love it. Um, I know this is a conversation that we as quilters can be on all sides. I wash my fabric first because I don't want my reds and my whites and my dark blues to blend after I have been quilting. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to wash their fabric first. There's a couple of reasons why I personally like to wash it. If we think about how the fabric has been made, cotton, it's in the field, it's being picked. It goes through processing to clean up all the little debris and stuff. Then it goes through another washing, and then it goes into the spinning thing, and then it has to be put on a machine and woven. So it's going from factory to factory to factory. Then you when it's printed, all these colors are put on. So we have all of the inks and stuff. So there's a lot of dirt, a lot of chemicals, a lot of things that I don't necessarily want in my fabric. So I like to wash my fabric. Also, it's not like they put too much dye in it. It's just, you know, if we've ever dyed our hair, the color stays in our hair, but that first washing, it just gets the stuff that didn't stick into the hair. It's the same with fabric. So I like to wash it for that. And if there's any shrinking or anything, then I know exactly what I'm dealing with right after the beginning. Um, I will give you a little trick on washing your fabric first. And I do put it in the wash machine. I just put it on the most gentle cycle I can with regular soap. Um, if you use fabric softener, I do put a little bit in. Then I put it in the dryer. Now, here's where the trick is. In the dryer. When I take it out of the wash machine, I shake it and make sure that it's not all a big tangled mess. And so I make sure it's straightened. And I only throw in maybe 2 or 3 pieces at a time, even if they're small ones. I don't put a lot in. And I let it dry for 7 minutes. My dryer, 7 minutes is the end. This is my number. I take it out. It's still cool to the touch, so it's still a little damp. I don't want it to be over dry. When it over dries, it will wrinkle. So then I will take it and I will smooth it out with my hands, how many pieces I want to wash. And then when I've finished them all, then I will go in and I will iron them. I can put a little bit of starch or a starch alternative if I want back into the fabric because I know what I'm putting in it. And then I will iron it out. When you get it out of the dryer and it's too dry, you're setting those wrinkles. We don't want the wrinkles. We want that really crisp, nice fabric. So I spread it out and I can let that relax. You can use starch, you can use a starch alternative, and you can even use a fabric that treats the fabric. It's a spray, and you can spray it on the fabric. Let whatever you're putting on it, let it absorb into those fibers. If you just spray on top, it's going to sit on top, sort of like hand cream. It sort of takes a minute to absorb into the fabric. Once it's absorbed into the fabric, then you can iron it. I like to iron from the back side. I'll spray from the front, flip it over, and iron from the back. And then it comes out just beautiful, just as if you're going to get it off of the bolt. So that's why you can always use those color catchers on the wash machines. They do really help. I just don't want to take a chance. What color do you use for your hair? This is natural. I started going gray at 16. I'm beyond gray. I'm white. How do you keep the fabric from fraying? In the wash machine, I will do a little bit of a zigzag. And I don't find it really frays too much because I'm not giving it a big wash. It's like if you have a hand wash in your sewing machine. If you have a hand wash in your wash machine, that's the one to use. So my husband loves your hair. Thank you. Where do I stay? I live in Canada. So, all right. Does anybody else have any other questions for me? Type them in now because I am reading. How did you hang on the quilt behind you? So this I have used in a balance technique. I have one nail and it's in the center. It's a big, strong nail that went right into my 2x4s. My sleeves, they're not a solid sleeves. I have these little triangles that I sew in the back. If you want to check that out, it's how to hang your quilt with 1 or 2 stitches. So I use this triangle method, and it's a space. It gives me spaces. So I have that pole, and that pole balances on that one nail. So now I can always change that size, and I don't have to worry about the extra nails. Salt to help set the colors. Yes, that is another great trick. Another old trick, and it does work, put your fabric in the freezer. When you take it out of the freezer, it will, and iron it right away. It's that dampness that works it. Do you like your, yes, I do like my sewing room. It is helping a lot. How do you use colors? There's a couple of ways to use colors for fabric. And the best way are these little dots on fabric. All of these dots are the colors that are in here. So you can take those dots and match them up to something that you want. You can also use color wheels. I have a color wheel on my wall. Hold on, can you see it on my wall? And I use that to give me inspiration on for the color wheel. How do you like your? I do sew on a Bernina. I always say a sewing machine is very personal. It's like a car. You need to test drive many of them. Leave your wallet at home, bring fabric, and sit down and test drive sewing machines before you buy them. Why did you start your YouTube? Hold on. I've been here with you since your turquoise. Why? I started my YouTube channel because of my son. Don't ever have sons. They cause trouble. My son kept saying that he thought it would be something that I would enjoy doing. And so I put him up to the challenge. He was right. I love it. I get up in the morning excited to do it. Your camera is causing a shaking image. Maybe it's me because I'm moving too much. Do you use polyester thread for piecing? Yes, actually I do. There's a saying, use cotton for cotton fabric and so on. And really, it's more that's wrapped with cotton. You can get 100% cotton, um, but the thing that people say it's the cotton thread and the fabric should be cotton because the fabric, um, the thread will rip the fibers. I have never, and I have been sewing for 50 years, have thread rip any of my fabrics. And I've used polyester way before cotton thread was even allowed. So can you label to a quilt if you've already completed it? Absolutely. Yeah. I will do that a lot. Your camera is shaking, causing a shaking image. Yes, I think that's me. Do I own pets? No. Love pets. Love everybody else's pets. Um, I don't have pets because I really don't have time for them. All of my children live out of town, so I do travel a lot. I also travel for shows. So it wouldn't be fair to pets. They would be in other people's houses more than they'd be in mine. So I just love everybody else's pets. The quilt behind me, the red and white one, is a video. You can go into YouTube under my channel, look under Glorious and Free. It's a follow along. It's a 4-part series. So you're going to be able to do that. Well, I've been chatting for 36 minutes. So, do I have a favorite type of fabric? I'm thinking perhaps, are you thinking of a brand or a company? My favorite fabric would be all of it. Really, truly, there probably isn't a fabric that I don't love. I love bright jewel colors. But I also love some soft colors. And of course, I'm a garment construction person, so I love that too. So I do that. Well, I am going to sign off because really, I only came here for 2 reasons. Okay, 3 reasons. Number 1, to say hello. Number 1, to let you know that on the 27th, which is Saturday coming up, the book will no longer be available for a while. And my video for the sewing room is coming out March 11th. Do you spend a lot of time organizing my fabric? No, I try to keep it in order because if not, it really can get out of control. I organize my fabric by companies. So, for example, if I'm using Northcott fabric, I keep all of Northcott in one area. The reason I do that and keep it for companies is companies usually design their fabric lines to go with other lines that they have. So you might have some florals and stuff, but they'll have basics that go with that. So then the next line that they do, they'll have some other designs, but they'll have basics that go in that. So a lot of times their fabric will intermix. So by having it in one section, I pretty much can choose from that area. You are very welcome. I'm so glad you enjoy my videos. Am I missing what size scraps do I use? I keep them even up to about this big. So, all right. I think this is it. I think I've caught up with everything. So thank you everyone for joining me today. If you want the book, drop into sewveryeasy.com and get that before it shuts down. And well, I will be here tomorrow at 2:00. I have a video planning on going out. So I will be here every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00. And you just never know when I'm going to pop in and do a live. So thank you for everyone to say hello and dropping in. And as always, thanks for joining me today. Come on back and let's see what we're sewing or chatting about next time in the sewing room. Bye now. Thank you, everyone.